oppose,
oppose, oppose,
oppose,
oppose,
against another house with a strong navy that could one day oppose you, could one day oppose you, could one day oppose you.
I call for an audit of House Wheeling.
I second that. I oppose. I oppose. I oppose.
After Xandar, you were going to kill my father?
You dare to oppose me. You dare to oppose me. You dare to oppose me.
You see what he has turned me into?
Ad Antium lives he.
Ad Antium.
I wish I had a cause to seek him there, to oppose his hatred fully.
Meanwhile, there will be no march tomorrow. I will not oppose Wallace against protocol.
And Abby wouldn't be here to oppose you.
Fast.
I adamantly oppose this.
You could almost certainly win them to your side. But there are other men who will oppose it categorically.
The strengths and weaknesses of the houses that will either join or oppose you.
I will have a very large army.
And we adamantly oppose those who would oppress or deny us our freedoms.
And them a favor, Remy.
Then why propose the legislation in the first place? You must have known they would oppose it.
The regulatory restrictions are minimal.
We're friends.
It's also our understanding that you oppose the death penalty.
I'm a man of God. How could I not?
guilt,
guilt, guilt,
guilt, guilt.
Sometimes we push too hard, and that leads to a lot of resentment and guilt, guilt, guilt.
And I felt guilt, and shame.
When I am on to your little game, I know none of this is true. You're just trying to guilt me into letting you stay.
Is that even a baby? Because from here, it looks like a turkey. I need you to sign this, admitting your guilt and promising you'll never return to the store.
That's you and Michelle Obama.
That's my aunt.
I am so sorry. I don't know why.
Calm down, white guilt. It's Michelle Obama.
I am so sick of fighting and everybody's stupidity and blindness and guilt trips.
How many snow days are we going to be able to spend together?
Are you really playing the guilt card right now?
Don't you lay your guilt at my door.
I'll cover this up. I become your accomplice. You think you can guilt me into that?
To myself, she was gone. I knew she was never coming back. I had to let that guilt go.
Are you there, Mr. Reese? Get anywhere with your friend Joey?
No. Can't cure someone of guilt.
I assure you, Mr. Wren, in time, the guilt you feel will pass.
Junction.
Junction. Junction.
Junction.
Junction.
I'm almost there. You should see a junction box with 6 conduits coming from it.
A janitor found this in the basement last night. Attached to a junction box. Junction box. Junction box.
We've got a perimeter breach. Hostiles are in shield gear. Call outs at every junction. A junction. A junction.
It's at Hilton, near Hilton Junction.
It's okay. Took out the camera from the junction box in the hall. We can talk freely.
Out-of-body experiences can be induced by sensory overload in the temporoparietal junction.
Temporoparietal junction was clean on MRI, MRA, and whole body scan.
Upper esophagus is clear, moving on to the GE junction.
Power surge to the junction box, 1 in a million event. Thanks.
Is that a serial number?
Yep. It's a cable junction box.
See this junction here? Reroute some of the spring's water flow into a couple of suspended basins.
That's the junction box, Harold.
Restrain. Restrain.
Restrain.
Restrain.
Restrain.
After Mr. Coleman passes, we'll restrain him, restrain him, restrain him. He'll reanimate. I'll ask the questions again, record his responses.
Along with the methylamine. I'm going to have to restrain you. To restrain you. To restrain you. You gotta be kidding.
Restrain her. Restrain her.
Restrain her. Take her with you. When this is done, hopefully she'll understand.
Now. But some of them are still loose. And if you see one, don't try to restrain them yourselves. These fuckers will kill you.
Restrain her.
Come on, Nick! Let her go! Restrain her! Get her!
Get your restraining order right here. Restrain this.
Please, just talk to me.
Sit down or I'll have to restrain you.
I know you're in there because usually I'm right beside you.
Mr. Cat, just when the verdict was delivered, he attacked the judge in open court. It took a bailiff and 2 armed officers to restrain him.
And he just got parole.
3 weeks ago.
Now, during testimony, Parrish threatened to kill this guy in open court. It took 3 marshals to restrain him.
Okay, get us a comma's address.
It's on the car. I'm gonna need your badge number. Trying to show off for your partner here, brother? I'm not your brother. Don't make us restrain. Officer Davis. Sir? Officer Corcoran.
Civil.
Civil. Civil.
Civil. Civil.
Can we at least be civil? Civil? Civil?
How's your nose?
Mr. President, this is only a civil lawsuit. Civil lawsuit. Civil lawsuit. We can ignore it.
I did a lot of research on the era. I was writing a book, a comedy about the Civil War. Civil War. Civil War. Turns out, not so funny.
Think say all they want. We're just here to play ball.
It's just a bunch of crackpots still fighting the Civil War.
In the former United States, civil war continues to devastate the Midwest.
Gabby, I'm trying to be civil. If you don't knock it off right now, I swear the gloves are coming off.
I predicted that a lone act of civil disobedience would trigger an uprising and remake the Arab world.
Well, we can pursue the civil suit if you want, but the DA now has no choice with Mr. Summers' confession to prosecute him.
The rubies in that necklace were blood red. I don't expect civil servants to understand how impressive that is, but I do expect you to get them back.
Ma'am, you need to step back.
This is a violation of my civil rights. I'm not doing that.
Then you're gonna have to come with us.
Can you help me with my social studies project? It's on the Civil War.
I'm still talking!
I'm going on break. That's my civil right.
Technician.
Technician. Technician.
Technician.
Technician.
How was your lecture?
Oh, boring, tedious, tedious, tedious.
In life? Oh no. Garden variety manic depressive. Tedious, very tedious. Tedious, very tedious. Tedious, very tedious.
And please don't scream. It's tedious. It's tedious. It's tedious. And no one can hear you.
I say, Nobly, you are being awfully tedious today.
Plus, just the sheer volume of tedious shit you have to put up with just to get a girl to suck your dick. It's like...
Well, I suppose I could fake it or lie, but that's just as tedious for you as it is for me.
Yeah. You see? They've all suffered through my bouts of sobriety. It's very tedious for all concerned.
Years and years of lectures on family and legacy. The same lecture, really, just with tiny, tedious variations.
A great doughy lump I'd sat next to at endless dinners and tedious gatherings. There he was.
What?
You look amazing. You were on a date, weren't you? I made you come here in the middle of a date.
No. You know what? Actually, you saved me from the longest date with the most tedious man. Good.
You know, in the late 18th century, there was a math prodigy named Carl Friedrich Gauss, who was faced with the same tedious problem that you are.
Only because I didn't realize that we were dealing with a 1%er who finds other 1%ers tedious.
And you decided to drop in for a visit?
Stakeouts can get a little tedious.
Philosophy.
Philosophy.
Philosophy. Philosophy.
Philosophy.
It's actual philosophy. Philosophy. Philosophy.
In quiet there is truth. Some shit like that, something like that.
George?
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah.
Oh, you don't know about our philosophy. Philosophy. Philosophy.
The martial way is more than a sport. It is our discipline. It is our philosophy. 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 It is our way of life.
Call this one a win and save the philosophy for the pub, then?
Definitely.
Hey.
Being tough on crime, capital punishment, it's all part of a philosophy that I believe in. Part of a philosophy that I campaigned on, was elected for.
Are formed mostly by our history. They, on the other hand, are formed by their philosophy, not by what has been, but by what can be.
Don't delve too deeply into the philosophy of your website. You have to offer context, but briefly. It makes you sound like a crank.
Well, not one of your other children is a sophomore at Yale majoring in political philosophy.
It's hardly surprising you agree with our patient's philosophy. You run your department like a boot camp, as if cruelty ensures performance.
There's nothing in this file about an affinity for Greek philosophy.
Hey, finishing your philosophy paper?
Yeah.
Analyst.
Analyst.
Analyst. Analyst. Analyst.
It'll help.
Financial analyst. Financial analyst. Financial analyst. Cool.
Mr. Brown is something called a risk analyst. Risk analyst. Risk analyst. He says that
A number of political analysts predict that the House Judiciary Committee will commence with hearings on articles of impeachment.
Let's just stop right there. So these analysts you speak of, they're making predictions prior to Dunbar's report even being released.
That could take months.
So I should be hearing the sound of some of my rabid analysts clamoring for my attention.
APHIS doesn't have them. Analysts can't place them. DNA's a no-go, so I'm stuck.
And he went to work as a systems analyst for Everwood Communications.
Looking guy with a dime a dozen analyst job, ended up dating all of these gorgeous women.
Going anywhere.
Mike was a junior analyst in our acquisition department.
Turns out he's a systems analyst for an engineering firm in Lansing, Michigan.
Creature.
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 You're a charming creature. Charming creature. Charming creature. Why don't I know you?
I've never been in Moscow society, really.
You're not even special in your own way. You're just a nasty little creature, abandoned by a feckless mammy who's forgotten you exist.
But this is an awful, toxic creature. Toxic creature. Toxic creature. Fortunately, I don't need to sleep with her again to get her out of my life. I just need to leave.
What the fuck is he? Just come on! Let's go! Maybe some creature dragged him off. Let's not find out. Come on.
Tentacles. And the way this creature attaches itself to its quarry.
Roman numeral for 10.
Right. But human 9 is the real prize. The human is a mythological creature. It's the Persian equivalent of the phoenix.
Extinct species. Essentially, the DNA of the extinct creature is placed inside the uterus of its nearest living genetic relative. In the Quahas case, that's a zebra.
Oh, wow. At sunrise this morning, the creature died. From what I assume was severe dehydration. I'm afraid whatever secrets the naiad was keeping have died with her.
Okay, first candidate is from 13th century France. It's called a trask, a small solitary creature who loves the singing of maidens.
During your trial, you portrayed yourself as a fragile creature living under Malcolm Merlin's thumb.
He's talking about aliens and bringing the dead back to life. What kind of creature feature I sign up for?
I can't live as this repulsive creature.
Multiple.
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 Guys, I got multiple pairs of blue jeans. I feel pretty good about it.
Pretty good?
Multiple choice, huh? Multiple choice, huh? Multiple choice, huh? Do you feel like you chose the right answer for number 4?
multiple drops in one spot. He must have stood here for a minute.
Yeah, if you call them multiple orgasms, it's weird.
I mean, everybody lost sight of old Rodney King himself. I mean, the guy's a multiple felon.
I'm not sure, but we've lost power to multiple stations.
It came down last
We
night.
saw it. There were multiple crash sites over 100 square miles. If there were survivors, we will bring them in too. You have my word.
And paparazzi favorite party girl.
Multiple GSWs to the chest.
Sorry, sweetie. It's a bad one. Multiple contusions to the head, evidence of fracturing at the base of the skull.
Multiple reports of looting at Western and Oxnard.
Joe, multiple 911 calls. Rathway Industries is under attack.
Multiple exposures.
Now you're getting it. I went ahead and enhanced them digitally and...
Look at this. Multiple crimes of this man are all dating back to a month after the particle accelerator explosion.
Policy.
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 Procedure done 3 times in 1 month. Well, it's just not our policy here. Policy here. Policy here.
Charles, I've lobbied on your behalf. It's state policy. Policy. Policy.
And he's married.
So what?
So they don't move married people. It's policy. It's policy. It's policy.
Nice talking to you, Truman. You well, too. We must go now. Hey, think about that policy, Yes, sir. huh? Thank you. Okay, that's 2 for 1. That's a good deal.
What is it?
It's my policy never to discuss my clients or their needs.
Yeah, well, I almost died getting it for you.
Sorry, this has to be public. The policy on these matters is very clear. No special treatment.
Oh, come on, man. We just want to see what it looks like before we buy it.
It's not policy. It's not policy to help the customer.
About thanks to you, too, I'm instituting a new policy in our department. Forget, don't you?
What?
Stop it. I told you that NYPD has a strict policy about coworkers dating.
To use the phone, but I couldn't let him use it. It's against company policy, so he just raced out of here.
Me being late.
It's good policy.
But thank you for coming out of hibernation for this.
I know Shield's policy for people on the index. I have executed that policy.
Okay, Sky, I need you to stop. Just calm down. Take a breath.
Institution.
Institution.
Institution. Institution. Institution.
Yes! I'll tell you what I'd like to know. Why should I apply to an elitist institution with a history of anti-black, anti-gay, and anti-female oppression?
I just knew I was the smartest, the fastest, the best this institution had to offer.
Hey, you're kidding me.
She's never once in 2 years acknowledged that she's in an institution. She believes we're all deliverymen, milkmen, postal workers.
Sir, we promised Hirohito that Japan would retain the institution of the emperor if he surrendered.
Who is this?
Your marriage is an abomination, a cancer on the institution of rightful vest and marriage.
Mr. McHugh, Mrs. McHugh, your support has helped us make this a world-class institution.
So tell me, Charlie, what happened? You and Sam take out a loan from an institution that doesn't offer flexible payment plans?
Where would you get that much?
A mental institution.
I did. I'm now Chief Financial Officer of Starling National Bank, and my institution has committed rescue financing for Mr. Queen.
The corrupt institution has been dismantled, yes. We cut down the tree.
Thanks, Dad.
My father, James, taught history at Punahou School, a 100-year-old institution.
It's bad for the culture. You know, people forget. The barbershop is an important social institution in this country.
Fox River is a level 5 institution, housing some of the most dangerous.
What are you doing?
We have to go, come on.
Jam.
Jam.
Jam. Jam.
Jam. Bounce off your skull, or the gun just jam on you. Jam on you. Jam on you.
Book or the French you took.
You're lucky I love you.
And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be.
I really wasn't a jam, though. I really wasn't a jam, though.
Oh, I know. Listen, I'm sorry, Sonia. I'm in a serious jam here. I really need your help.
Like what stays here?
I'm at work. I've got 3 or 4 more cases. I'm not going to be home for a few hours.
So I'm kind of in a jam here.
Face, huh? Threaten him with my stick?
Jam this in my face. Look, I really wasn't looking to jam up Merlin, okay? I knew by pursuing him that I could throw a wrench in us just...
Why'd you do it?
The island told you it was necessary for you to jam your own people.
Yes, it did.
It's the same power signature.
Why would Amanda jam that aqueduct?
She didn't want us to hear something.
Found her. Felicity, can you jam their frequency?
Well, I already tried, but I might be able to redirect them onto a new target.
No, that's your technique, and if that doesn't work, you can always stick your thumb, jam it in his eye socket, and twist till you hit his brain.
Please stop. That's your rib cracking. I jam it 2 inches further, I'm gonna puncture your lung.
Assessment.
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 What's your assessment? What's your assessment? What's your assessment?
There's a lot of moving parts.
What's your assessment of Hartley's people?
You know what I think. They're mercenaries here for the money.
But what's your assessment?
They're good mercenaries.
I need a very frank assessment from you right now. Based on your contact with her, will the vice president go quietly?
How an unofficial assessment of the Tuskegee program made its way to newspapers and magazines.
Okay, there's a knife rack directly to your right.
Susan, I got your assessment report on Raina Boyanov. I know you're probably feeling a lot of emotion right now, but
Closer than expected.
Creepy.
That's your scientific assessment, is it?
Yep.
Creepy.
$9 a barrel and the Russian government goes bankrupt.
In our judgment, your assessment is extreme. Thank you.
You spent time with him. What is your assessment?
I would be shocked if he were to let this go.
Mr. Oldman's assistants are responsible for preliminary assessments. If you hold on, I'll put you through.
How do you know where we're going? It's a simple architectural assessment.
Suspicious tonight?
Look, I did my threat assessment, okay? The only one was a...
What?
Era.
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 Raise a glass with me. To a new era. To a new era. To a new era. That begins tonight.
Hard fought, sorely won. A people rose up from the ashes, and a new era was born.
Indiscretion.
Whatever.
Present day.
Boys, end of an era. The last year of our career, then we're done. We're old men, out of school.
Oh, hey, did you hear they're closing Ollie's?
Oh, no, I hadn't.
End of an era.
I mean,
They should have honor and live by the code. Or it will be they who help usher in a new era of peace among our kind.
I wanted to restore it to the glory of an earlier era.
Accelerator. StarLab's founder, Harrison Wells, promises a new era of scientific advancement is at hand.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt ushered in an era of hope and progress when he proposed the New Deal.
Coordinate.
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 Where?
I've got coordinates.
You got what?
Coordinates, GPS. Coordinates, GPS. Coordinates, GPS.
Here are the coordinates. Here are the coordinates. Here are the coordinates.
In addition to supplies that can provide shelter for the 100 and for the citizens coming down from the Ark.
And that makes...
The coordinates, the coordinates, the coordinates. So, whatever Gasper's after, it's hidden in Svalbard.
Isolate the coordinates.
Yes, sir. Mark 2113.
Enemy column sighted. Present position. Map coordinates 873-144.
Tower Control, this is Jed. Confirm coordinates for new destination, Alpha 2271.
The important thing is, I figured out the coordinates to the second location. I know where Byron went.
General Porter?
Sure.
Coordinate with General Bressler. I want a full vetting of all military personnel.
Yes, sir.
Here are the coordinates, but follow in close formation just in case. Roger that.
Coordinates. Longitude and latitude.
You, sir?
85, and don't blame this on my age. The tower fed me the wrong coordinates. It's not my fault I landed short of the runway.
Short of the runway.
Confident.
Confident. Confident.
Confident.
Confident.
Champagne on ice.
My, you've grown very confident since you worked for Francis.
I always said it was going to be close.
And why did every article I read yesterday say the leadership was confident the bill would pass?
Self-confident. Self-confident. Self-confident.
That's why I asked Bill Seaton to ride him, because Chief needs a confident rider for that first ride.
Here to Ramatelli. We are very confident in our abilities.
Put it where it needs to go. It's coming right back here. I'm glad you're so confident.
People could die if they don't wake up.
You sound awful confident about that.
I've been studying the dome since it came down.
Precisely.
I wish Mary wasn't so confident it could all be put right.
Asleep in her cots. All confident that I would be there.
I believe General Bressler wouldn't let us take off if he wasn't confident in its airworthiness.
I didn't expect to reconcile our differences in one conversation. But I am confident there will be more unpleasant discoveries about the Valm.
Graduate.
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 Sacrifice everything. We did it all for you. Father and I, first in our families to graduate high school. Graduate high school. Graduate high school.
For how long? No.
Until we graduate, until we graduate, until we graduate, and go our separate ways.
That's it. Just to carefully melt away the plastic.
Did you graduate from Kukui High?
Nope. Punahou.
Who's your friend, Mac?
This is Dr. Shaw. She's a recent graduate of Johns Hopkins University. I will be mentoring her in the medical arts.
Oh, well, lucky you.
Why don't you come back to 51? Everybody's asking about you.
You gotta graduate high school sometime, you know?
He doesn't fit the profile. Right? The man's got a graduate degree. He lives in my neighborhood.
But his student? Erin Rabin. She's a graduate student in philosophy. She took Pike's Ethics of Technology course last semester and has been assisting him with his research.
We're just wrapping up here.
Our manhunt for Simon de Merville is about to graduate from AP Visa news reports to a proper search. So he has no choice but to flee. He's an indebted graduate student with very few material assets.
Unfortunately, when he turned 18, he dropped out just weeks before he was supposed to graduate.
My dissertation. We started selling cronuts at Jitters. I ate 2 today. If I don't graduate soon, I'm gonna be more muffin top than woman.
Uniforms, walkie, sidearm, baton. I just wanted to graduate so I could get actual field assignments. What?
Publisher.
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 Publisher. Publisher.
Why would anyone in their right mind choose to be a publisher? Publisher. Publisher.
So, what do you do?
I'm a reader at a publisher. At a publisher. At a publisher.
No. You read for a living.
Yes.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm so proud of you. What house is it?
Scribner.
What? That's King's Publisher. It's King's Publisher. It's King's Publisher.
I was Dermot Hoggins' publisher, not his shrink or his astrologer.
Hello?
I'm sorry, Mr. Oldman. I've called all the publishers in existence, but not one of them knows who she is.
You slept with my first publisher?
Mr. Castle, I'm sure your talent would have gotten you there eventually.
Publisher.
No, he's right.
No, better. It's a web-mercial. And once it drops in a few days, my publisher assures me that both Raging Heat and I will go viral. It's time I let technology wrap me in its warm yet lucrative embrace.
Huh. Hi, sorry. My publisher took me to Spago. Lobster salad was amazing. She's seeing that publisher.
Is it serious?
Well, he's not bad looking.
I've never met a publisher before. I'm not sure exactly how this works. So you want to publish a book, is there a contract?
You may find that our organization does things a bit.
I don't remember giving you my phone number.
You didn't. The publisher did.
Pray.
Pray. Pray. Pray.
Pray.
Get rid of the pray. Pray. Pray.
If the metaphor is unclear, I am the eagle, and you are now my prey. Prey. Prey.
Absolutely sure. The stalkers usually get close a number of times before working up the stones to make contact with the prey.
Pray, pray, pray.
Come on, give me your cell phone.
But you wanted to kill man, Prey. You haven't completed your mission.
What makes you think you won't fall prey to the next strand?
Lannister, Stark, Baratheon. You prey in the weak. The Brotherhood without banners will hunt you down.
I went to one of these places. The young prey on the old. Take what they want and beat us if we resist.
A land where the powerful do not prey on the powerless.
Where the castles are made of gingerbread and the moats are filled with blackberry wine. The powerful have always preyed on the powerless. That's how they became powerful in the first place.
Perhaps.
Isolated. I don't want anyone else falling prey to this alien crap.
They'll ferry the bounty hunter and his prey to and from the mainland.
It doesn't stop until it devours its prey.
I've seen many a hunter stalk its prey, and that beast was coming for you.
Predators and prey. You drive yourself crazy trying to understand cases like Hadley. All you gotta do is make sure that you're never the prey.
Significant.
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 Significant. Significant.
That bothered me because the get was so significant, significant, significant.
In my business, when someone lies intentionally, that's significant. That's significant. That's significant.
But the trauma it left behind is significant. Significant. Significant.
This program, it's significant.
They were all Grimms.
They must have sacked something pretty significant. Any idea what?
Nobody seems to know.
Ken and I are going on date number 6 tonight, which is significant. And, I don't know.
Mark was telling the truth. A significant number of people in Starling City feel that your actions with Malcolm Merlin were justified to protect your family.
The Dome coming down is arguably the most significant event in history.
We've had encouraging success with tachyons, yes, but there's still a significant gap between our prototype and any real-life application.
How much do you have riding on this bet that I left Andrew?
A significant sum.
Well, you lost it.
And you need to let us handle this. As soon as we know something significant, you will be the first to hear. You have my word.
You want it to be seen?
Not just seen. I want it to be significant.
Column.
Column.
Column. Column. Column.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, and these columns are exactly like I had on the mayor's mansion back in '98.
It's your family. Besides, I hear St. Nick has a list of his own. I wager you're on the nice column. Nice column. Nice column. Go home, Oliver.
Can't take this editorial stance. It's too speculative.
I'm aware. Print it as a column.
The moment I do that, you cross over to the other side. We can't keep you on your beat.
So replace me. I want a column. I want a column. I want a column.
Migrated from Wyatt to Icon like you. 2 months later, her steering column exploded.
That's all I do. Ask questions and say whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, we read your column.
Yeah.
She was at the party, like the Evite, and there she is, Natalia Roosevelt in the yes column. And ooh,
2BX900, maybe the 6 Series. Both have a 3-column base.
A pinch of this powder in a bonfire will send a flaming column screaming towards the sky.
So I hope it's cool that I came by.
Yeah, of course. I was just writing a column on the combines.
I see a linear-shaped cut in the metal coming from the steering column.
Met bullets tore him apart when he was trying to save a group of kids pinned down by a skidder column.
They respect your opinion. I wanted you to walk them through the bill step by step. Put them at ease. I need to get them in the yes column.
Exhibition.
Exhibition. Exhibition.
Exhibition.
Exhibition.
Spirits, who was not here for your exhibition.
And it's really important for DPs to understand the entire length of the image chain, from acquisition to exhibition, to exhibition, to exhibition.
So Don's latest exhibition, had sold out completely.
I'm sure Monster can wait till Monday.
Monster's been waiting 3 weeks.
Yeah, but with the kids in my exhibition, I cannot keep everybody happy all the time.
Yeah, hi.
This is Mrs. Larchmont, the chairwoman of the Acquisitions Committee and the proud sponsor of this exhibition.
Starling City is expected to be host of this year's Festival of Lights exhibition. We have a painting from his first solo exhibition in Boston.
The Kondak Dynasty diamond. It was on its way to Central City Museum for exhibition.
What does Helen say? We're talking about an exhibition. That's great.
Where, Pepe?
No, 2 males have spotted the available females and will approach and begin the exhibition. Fascinating.
Fascinating?
Really, Edith? Do you have to put on such an exhibition?
She's not.
President of his fan club? No. It's a street art exhibition at the MCA.
Democracy.
Democracy.
Democracy. Democracy. Democracy.
This isn't a democracy. 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 I don't care who you get. At least for right now, this is my department.
The very essence of our democracy is rooted in a belief in the worth of the individual.
This is a democracy. We cannot be men behind the curtain pulling the strings.
What lessons have you learned from Iraq, and how specifically would you spread democracy abroad?
Specifically, we would make every effort possible to spread democracy abroad to those
In Spain it's a threat to our democracy as well.
Go get him, champ. Public education, cornerstone of democracy.
Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others.
Don't. They're disguising what they really want, which is an end to democracy and a return to the imperialist power with all their old privileges restored.
And what gives you the right to decide whether or not...
You may think this is a democracy, Kate, because of the way Jack ran things, but this is not a democracy.
Mark.
This is why democracy does not work.
Arrest.
Arrest. Arrest. Arrest.
Arrest.
That wasn't real. He's gone.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Dietrich's dead. I thought they'd arrest him, but when they found a Quran in his house, they had him executed.
Geronimo.
What did you do?
Okay, there's a painting upstairs. It's a Monet, it's the real thing. When they come back, you arrest them, read them the rights, whatever you guys do. That's right.
So I ran. This morning, when I went by Bry's house, there were cops there. I heard he got arrested.
What are you doing? What is this?
Federal agents, put your hands on your head now! All right, spread out. Everything goes. Computers, files.
Come on, Rivers. This is harassment.
No, Eric, this is an arrest.
You had Wyatt Stevens arrested?
Wyatt Stevens was arrested because Wyatt Stevens was guilty.
China.
And how did you know that this was the reason for your arrest?
How did I know?
Yes. There's no record of your trial or your arrest warrant.
at a rally intended to encourage interfaith dialogue, and only one Muslim was arrested.
Who called you about the arrest?
My accounting firm. I had an appointment and they canceled, saying my accountant, Mr. Stiglitz, had been arrested at his home.
Well, unfortunately, bond hearings take place the day after an arrest, so if there's anything to worry about, then...
You killed a man.
Arrest him.
I was just following the code.
I'll explain shortly. Please get in the car.
Want under arrest?
No, but I am authorized to compel you should you not choose to accompany us voluntarily.
You are a particular kind of bastard.
FBI, you're under arrest.